Hi there, plant people. We're back with Pete's Plants, and today we have a special guest. But first, we're going to have Peter talk to us about this beautiful tree, what it is, and what his plans are.
Hi, this is a Japanese red pine at Tanynosho. I bought it, almost 40 years ago. And when we bought this house, I spent 20 years trying to get it tall so I could walk under it. I like it because of the flat roof, and the wife wanted to make sure nothing happens to it. And when we had a big snowstorm back in 2016, some good-sized branches got broken, just bent and broken. So now I want to get it pruned out so that if it snows again, nothing will happen to it, I hope.
And that hole down here, is that where the branch broke off?
No, the branches, it's places like right here. This big branch came off, and there are a few more in the back and whatnot. The tree is just too vigorous, and the snow it was a freak thing. It just held all of that snow on top, and some just broke. So I want to open it up some, give it more of a little bonsai style look. Everybody thinks it's a bonsai, and I have to spend time telling them no, it's not.
And
okay?
who?
And Andy, assistant curator from the National Arboretum, he's agreed to prune it for me, so I'm most thankful for that.
Okay. And Andy, tell us a little about yourself and what interests you about this tree.
Well, I'm Andy, and I'm the assistant curator at the Bonsai Museum in DC, and this tree is really interesting. I mean, just the age of being and growing it with this movement up in the branches is really impressive. And this big, you don't really see red pine that often in the landscape in this region, so it's really cool to be able to work on one, honestly. I was just talking how it'd be nice to get some into more gardens and how they really should be propagated more. With the snow, the red pines are a little bit more brittle of a species too, so I could see if there's too much mass and too much length and you get a big snow, I could see why things would be breaking. I think today, looking up at it, if you look up there's so much density of just dead twigs that have been shaded out over time. It's really growing kind of far out, so it might be good to bring it in a little bit as well in some spots and just kind of tighten it up, clean it out and tighten it up really is the main things I think that need to happen. Like even there's some bigger chunks that have some big dead on them, so we'll see what it looks like when it's lightened up. Get some sun in there. I'm sure it will like it.
All right, well, let's see what happens.
All right, after this ladder, I'm going to start a fire.
Okay.
Oh, these are mine.
Just let me know what you want me to do to help.
We just gotta remove dead from everywhere, so we grab any pole pruner or anything. I just kind of gotta start getting up and looking and seeing.
Oh, there's one right there. You can stand down here.
Sorry. Snaked you. Anything that's like, any of these lower stuff, like there's a lot, this one might be a lot still. There's some green on this, but there's all these twigs that are dead on it that just need to be clipped out even quickly. And there's lots of dead. When's the last time this was pruned?
Years ago.
Now, will this bud back when more light gets in?
No, it's still here to safety latch.
That's a good question. I'm not sure of this variety. Pete could probably speak better to me on that. I've never worked with this specific variety of red pine or cultivar. Pete, does this variety bud back pretty well?
Not that well. If you do candle pruning, you just might get it to bud back. It's something that, well, things happen and I didn't get to do what I wanted to do, and now Mother Nature said, you don't need to do anything. You just, as the one lady said, you're too old.
Some of these that just have a little bit of live on the end that are really scraggly, I'm going to take out, I think,
Take
too.
them out, take them out. I had planned to end up with maybe half of what's up there to stay there. So,
That one wasn't even attached.
Oh, wow.
Maybe you want to help?
Sure.
I'm just going to pull saw over here. We're just removing dead stuff first to start with, and then we'll see once that lightens it up, and then prune from there. Clean and then prune. That's the way.
okay, because like I said, it's just too massive. And
Up here.
Notes of a good plant person to be around. If you're around watching them do stuff and they say, here, do this, and they drag you into it, that's a good plant teacher, because that's how you're going to learn. And Peter is one of the best, because I've never known anyone to be by watching him do stuff that not end up with something in their hands to do.
There's a lot to prune on it, so the more hands the better always for pruning landscape trees.
yep.
It's fun pruning them though. There we go, that's a better angle.
South Street, I'm a novice with this thing going.
No,
it doesn't
just
really
cut it at the base. Cut it at the base.
That's the base right there.
Let's see here.
Wow. Okay, you went to the guillotine.
You got that right.
All right, right there.
And this is Jamal, who's been working with Peter for quite a while, and a very wonderful helper. So we're going to call this part 1, and part 2 will pick up when this pruning is done. We'll be able to see everything that came off of it, and we'll have Peter and Andy talk more about what they've achieved and what next steps will be. Have a great day. Go grow stuff.